On the most recent episode of Brilliant Idiots, Andrew Schulz called out Charlamagne the God for moving a little funny when it comes to this Shannon Sharpe situation. He called out a blatant hypocrisy. Now, they began their conversation both sort of agreeing. The pod started off where they are both calling out Shannon Sharpe for being involved with a woman in whom he has a 40-year age gap with.
You can't shake down nobody if they don't give you nothing to shake. You can't target nobody if they don't give you nothing to target them for. Shannon is 56 years old. There is absolutely no reason for a 56-year-old man, 54-year-old man at the time, to be hollering at a 19-year-old.
Why are you even hooking up with OnlyFans girls outside of the fact that they're so it's unbelievable?
And that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying. But that's what I'm talking about.
Stupid.
But that's what I'm
how
talking
could
about.
They be so stupid to have sex with a girl on OnlyFans besides the fact that they're so fucking smoking hot gorgeous?
No, bro. At 19?
Wait, what?
No, at 19 years old, no.
She's not 19? How old is that girl?
She's 22 now. Yeah, she was 19 when he met her. He was 54.
We talking about 22-year-olds. That's what I'm talking about right now.
You're next, buddy. You gonna be
I'm talking about 22-year-olds.
Like, here's the thing. You got to have stability and discipline.
I look with my eyes, not my...
No, that's a lack of discipline. That's what that is right there, because a 54-year-old person with that much to lose should not be talking to a 19-year-old. Like, listen, it may be legal, but just common sense should say, you know what? This is not what I want to be into.
Also, if you hook up with a girl on OnlyFans, it's guaranteed this is going to happen. This is a 99% chance this will happen.
I agree with the point wholeheartedly. If you have something to lose, don't involve yourself with certain women. It's just not worth it, and it always ends badly. But when we harp on she's 19, that's us letting her off the hook from my perspective, because that comes with the assumption that Shannon Sharpe, being a 54-year-old man, he was the aggressor. He got her. He preyed on her, when that's not the case at all. We've seen the messages. She turned Shannon Sharpe out. She was the aggressor. She was the initiator of a lot. She was in control. So I don't like to keep on saying 19, because this chick wasn't no sitting duck, bruh. She was on the hunt. Shannon Sharpe was being hunted.
But how green is Shannon Sharpe? He's not a rookie. This ain't a 19-year-old. This is a 23, 24-year-old mistake.
I had a good joke, but I didn't know if it was racist or not. You said, how green is it? And I was like, a mile?
Man, how green is he that he ended up in a situation like this? How is this 19-year-old, 22-year-old woman now able to line him up in this way?
You know what's so funny is that when I did his pod, he said this thing to me. It was so peculiar. He's like, I don't get into the elevator with, like, he said single women, or was it single white women? I forget what he said.
Just he don't want to be alone with women in the elevator because anything can happen.
I don't ride the elevator with single women.
Yes,
so
you cannot do
if
that.
the single woman is on the elevator, I gotta wait.
Wait, why don't you? Because they just get too horny.
No, I don't.
Why do they get
run the risk? Sometimes
run the risk of what?
Sometimes the mention of impropriety is enough to sway people's opinion of somebody.
Really?
Imagine if Shannon Sharpe would have taken his own advice. Imagine if he would have been as careful as he was claiming to be. I've seen another clip. I think Shannon Sharpe was talking to Donnell Rawlings, because Donnell Rawlings is like a 23-year age gap between him and his wife. Shannon Sharpe was telling Donnell, 23, yeah. Donnell, how could you? Donnell, this is... Bro, he was acting appalled that Donnell Rawlings was dating somebody 23 years his junior, when in fact Shannon Sharpe was at the time dating somebody who was 36 years his junior. Right? Right. So Shannon Sharpe was putting up a front for the public. Even if we want to say what he did was nasty, it's not illegal. Now, I have no problem with Charlamagne and Andrew Schulz having a take of Shannon Sharpe should not be involved with no girl who is 19 years old. Shannon Sharpe should be ashamed of himself. I'm not mad at that take. But what I'm mad about is consistency. Andrew Schulz will keep it consistent. Charlamagne the God won't keep it consistent. And the examples he used of why one is okay and the other isn't is really peculiar.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
You ain't wrong when you're right. A great man once said, you ain't wrong when you're right.
You're not wrong at all. listen, all of you guys, and I'm consistent in this. We've had this conversation on the podcast before. All you guys that are 40 plus years old, 50 plus years old, be out here running around with these 19-year-olds, early 20-year-olds. That shit is not the flex you think it is, yo.
Listen, I'm telling you right
not
now.
Not the flex you think it is.
You are crazy if you do this. If you're messing with a worker, you're gonna get worked. Simple as that.
If she was a 39-year-old worker, if she was a 39-year-old person on OnlyFans, I wouldn't give a flying. The fact that Shannon Sharpe is 54 and got into this with a 19-year-old.
But when Bill Belichick does it, it's fine?
No. Let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Pull up how old Bill Belichick's girlfriend is.
Bill Belichick's girlfriend is 24 years old. Bill Belichick is 73 years old. There's a larger gap between Bill Belichick and his girlfriend than Shannon Sharpe and that chick. So if Charlamagne the God believes that what Shannon Sharpe did is gross and he should be ashamed of himself, then he should have the same logic and be consistent with Bill Belichick, right? It shouldn't be, yo, one's my homie or one is white or the other dude probably is my competitor and he's black. It shouldn't be that, bro. It should be consistent. But watch how Charlamagne the God make an excuse for Bill Belichick, but chastise Shannon Sharpe for the exact same thing.
Now, let's talk about this. This is where this is the brilliant part of the show.
She like 24.
More so idiot. How old is she?
24.
He's 73.
Yeah.
When the person is 70 plus years old and the woman is 24, I'll be like, what's wrong with her?
What?
I don't look at him and say, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
I say, why does she want a 73-year-old? But I know why.
The hog is crazy. The offensive line is crazy.
Bill Belichick's network.
Pull up Bill Belichick.
Pull Bill Belichick's net
board
worth.
shorts. Put him up into board shorts. You don't think that Bill Belichick got a big?
I have no idea. But
would you wear a tank
70
top
million
sweatshirts if you had a small penis?
$70 million, bro.
Okay.
That 24-year-old who's with Bill Belichick for his $70 million is no different than the 19-year-old who was with a 54-year-old Shannon Sharpe for his millions, bruh. They're both gold diggers. They're both in it for money. Right? It's no different. But to paint Shannon Sharpe as a monster, to paint Shannon Sharpe as somebody who should be ashamed of himself for doing the exact same thing that Bill Belichick is doing. No, Bill Belichick, what he's doing is even worse, bro. 73 and 24 is crazy. That's even worse. But Charlamagne, the guy, has no issue with Bill Belichick doing it. Now, again, man, I respect Charlamagne. So I'm not saying you on some sellout stuff, bro. But you not beating the sellout accusations, bro. Charlamagne the God ain't beating the sellout accusations, yo. Time after time after time after time after time, Charlamagne positions himself in a position to be called out for selling. Because, like, come on, bro. How do we not think this is a situation where essentially you're saying, bro, white ice is colder, man? Now, listen, man. I don't believe that you have to be on the other end of the spectrum, right? I don't think you have to be on, yo, Shannon Sharpe is innocent just because it's black, because that's dumb, right? If you are figuring out somebody's innocence or guilt based on their skin tone, you are dumb. I'm never going to do that. And I don't think you have to be on the he's guilty either. No, right? I think you can have a reasonable, rational, logical opinion that's consistent. Now, what I will say, though, even though Charlamagne the God, I believe, is wilding out with this particular take and he's being a hypocrite, I don't believe the opposite of this, which is what I believe Tariq Nasheed is pushing for, which is white supremacy, is after Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is a victim of white supremacy. I feel like that's flawed and dumb, too. And Tariq Nasheed, I love you, my brother. But I feel like that's dumb, right? But white supremacy has nothing to do with Shannon Sharpe participating in BDSM, choking, sodomizing. Like white supremacy has nothing to do with Shannon Sharpe being involved in delinquent activities and getting caught up.
Shannon Sharpe. I'm saying, we're going to have to talk turkey, black family. Now, people, you can feel a certain way about Shannon Sharpe, bunny hopping or whatever. But the thing is, what you don't do, you don't start excusing the white supremacist agenda. All right? Because, listen, Shannon Sharpe didn't do nothing to nobody. He ain't hurt nobody. He has a hankering for snow bunnies. All right, so what? He ain't never dissed black society or black women. He's never done that. So he has a hankering for the buttermilk. All right. But he ain't never done nothing to nobody. And the thing is this. A lot of black people are criticizing him. Well, you should have known better. Oh, the woman was too young. You should have done this. You should have done that. Man, you should have known this. Okay, well, you should have, would have, could have. There's a lot of things that he could have done, all that. But let's be very clear. Let's not get focused or lose focus on the real issue here. The real issue is white supremacist targeting. All right? That's the real issue. And by constantly taking shots at Shannon, that's almost giving an excuse to what this woman and this lawyer and the media is doing. We got to understand these people are all working together to take down a black person. That's very important. And a lot of folks, it's easy to say, well, Shannon should have did A, Shannon shouldn't have did B. It's easier to say that than to admit the truth and admit fear. We're going to talk turkey right now.
I don't think there's a grand conspiracy against Shannon Sharpe. I think this is one woman and one attorney. And this one woman, I believe, is money hungry. She's clout thirsty. She's vindictive. She's spiteful. And she's a setup artist. I think Shannon Sharpe got caught up dealing with the wrong chick and a power thirsty lawyer. This don't have to do nothing with like white supremacy, bruh. Bruh, you think that Colin Cowherd, who's a white man who owns the network that Shannon Sharpe is currently on, you think he co-signed Shannon Sharpe being taken down by the white congregation? You think ESPN, who Shannon Sharpe is employed to, you think who Shannon Sharpe is one of like their greatest or like their best assets, you think a corporation like Disney and ESPN, who's that powerful, you think they co-signed the white supremacy structure taking down the greatest asset? No. This isn't a grand conspiracy. This isn't about white supremacy. This is about bad decisions that led to where we're currently at. If you want to say that this chick is a racist, which I don't see how, right? When this chick, bro, was opening up every hole in her body for Shannon Sharpe to penetrate. But if you want to say that this chick is flawed, okay, cool. We can probably get to that. But no, this is not no grand conspiracy against Shannon Sharpe.
Number one, there's a fear of admitting powerlessness. Let's talk real. Facing the truth that any black person, regardless of fame, money, or status, can be taken down by a coordinated effort from the white dominant society, that's terrifying. And that shatters the illusion that success can protect you. So what people do, they'll deflect to, well, Shannon should have known better. That's a form of psychological self-protection. You see, Dr. Welsing talked about having fear. She said, look, dealing with white supremacy is scary. We have to be very honest about things. If we are fearful, say that. If you have fear, just say that and start from there. But don't be in denial. But there's a lot of reasons why black people out here are doing a lot of deflection from the real issue, that this was a coordinated attempt by the white supremacists, the woman, the lawyers, the white media, the whole shebang, that they are working together, making excuses for that grown-ass white woman. Well, she was 19 or 20. She was grown. That white woman, y'all making excuses for her. She knew what she was doing. She was doing white woman shit. All right. See, in internalized respectability politics, black people believe that if you behave respectably or avoid certain actions, that'll protect you. So when somebody like Shannon Sharpe is, he gets targeted, they see it as him violating some unwritten rule other than recognizing the systemic nature of this attack.
And this is the other end of the spectrum. So I don't believe you have to be on the end where Charlamagne is at, which is, you're just trying to bury this dude or on the other spectrum of Tariq Nasheed where you're trying to excuse his actions. You can be in the middle or you can just be hands off, right? Because no, like Shannon Sharpe has never been somebody who's been out here as like an activist, bro. Like Shannon Sharpe has never been a super pro-black activist. He hasn't been out here picket fencing. So I don't feel like why they would need to take down Shannon Sharpe, bro. Like Shannon Sharpe platforms produces more beef and conflicts in the urban community than any other platform out right now, bro. Right? So no, I feel like Shannon Sharpe, for the most part, would be a tool for white supremacy, not against it. All right. Let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think about this? Do y'all think that Shannon Sharpe is guilty? Do y'all feel like he's innocent? Do y'all feel like this is the white supremacist after Shannon Sharpe? Let me know. And if you're still watching, man, click on this video here on my screen, man, to find out why Corey Holcomb snapped after Wallow ambushed him with his op mid-interview, mid-podcast. They ambushed him with his op. I'm going to see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.